Again, if not for the OST, I would be like, oh, this is fucking bullshit. But the sound is so fucking good, I don't give a shit that Hero's a fucking Terminator. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Stoneface Reactions. I'm Theta, this is Lessons, and we are back with some more Gundam Wing. We have, of course, come with notes this time, since I've stated before in episode 1. This is episode 3. We also have a board, but we've kind of hit a thing where we've just been watching like promos and stuff from across the spectrum, and we did one in Japanese, we did one from Toonami, so English, so let's go back to possibly Japanese. We don't really know what these are, we're just making guesses, but once again, Lessons has chosen, so let's see what Lessons has chosen. Again, if nothing, I'm never going to get tired of the opening. Which is good, because I think there's only 2 openings.
Yeah.
So I believe the first time that we watched the same opening 3 times in a row, it was only like 40 seconds.
Yeah.
This one's 2 minutes. So
I think I guess it's every CD.
Oh, here we go.
Every episode.
This one's different. I also like the concept that had we not watched this once already a long time ago, these would be all just be fucking spoilers.
Yeah.
Although I can't imagine how the show could spoil anything. Well, as per our minute of everything is over the top, I guess the element of him self-destructing the Wing Zero.
Yeah.
Oh, how very 90s. Lady, can't wait for her to make an appearance. I'm gonna say this episode or next episode.
Emotion. Yeah. That would have been a spoiler, I guess.
Not really. I mean, seeing it, I'm assuming it means Sex's mask blowing off his face.
Yeah.
Not really, because you still don't know what the hell it means. Epyon, maybe. Because if you're like into the Gunpla scene, seeing a new Gundam would be like, oh, I can't wait till that comes out. Because it doesn't even actually look like he's losing whatever fight he's in. It's just his mask blows up.
Yeah.
You ever get so angry your mask blows up? Or I guess maybe you might think Renalina's getting coordinated.
Yeah. So that's end of the... Yeah, this is a...
That's the whole thing.
Yeah, that's...
I guess technically this is spoilers because these are things I never even thought about until I'm being reminded of them. But then again, I would have been knowing what was coming the moment we watched an episode. I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. This is what happens next.
Yeah.
Wow, that was 2 minutes?
Yeah. It did have variety. We thought it was going to repeat over and over again. He's only had 2 repeats, and that's it. I mean, I liked it. The last one, it reminds me, I completely forgotten about that red mobile suit. It was like, oh yeah, that's... And I won't say more because I don't want to spoil even further. But yeah.
Did I not already name it out loud?
I think you did. You had Adion? The Adion.
Well, I mean, if you literally don't remember the name, I'm not going to repeat it, but
no.
I said the actual name.
Shape.
Well, because like, back in the day, like when I was originally watching it, it's like, oh, that's so fucking cool. I think maybe more so from the fact that it was my guy piloting it. So, you know, I might have been more aligned to my character's thing. But then again, that doesn't even hold up. I think in the long term, I'm still more of a fan of Tall Geese than just about anything else. Like, literally only recent stuff that I've watched, you know, like Ariel or the Schwartz from Gundam, Witch from Mercury, have surpassed my love of old school Tall Geese.
The Freedom was pretty cool.
Yeah. The Freedom was just a remake of RX-78-2. I would sooner pick the original.
Not true enough.
I mean, at that point, I would just say the Impulse.
No, I mean, the version of the RX-72.
No. Sorry, I'm correcting myself before you get to correct me. I meant the Impulse. You said Freedom. I meant the Impulse. I was screwing up what I was talking about. The Impulse is just a remake of the RX-78-2. In which case I would, well, actually, Shin in the Impulse in Nightmare, my number one picked episode, defeats everything that Amuro, I feel, does in the RX-78-2. I feel like people are saying, you could just call it Gundam. It's like, well, in a universe of Gundams, I don't think I can.
Especially in Seed, with everybody has a Gundam.
Well, yeah.
All the main characters,
Well, in the moment, we're actively comparing Gundams. So if I just said Gundam, the pedantic in me is already like, which one? So RX-78-2.
And GQX is also pretty cool.
That is literally the RX-78-2. No. Yeah, I'm sorry. That is the red one. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's Psychomumu now. Omega Psychomumu now.
Look, even though you get the no out first, my brain has already clicked that I was wrong. So,
yeah.
Well, I mean, essentially, it has the coloration of it, and technically kind of looks like it, too.
Mm-hmm.
But, I don't know. The problem is I don't think it's that cool yet. It could well, at the moment, it is literally just doing the shit Amuro would do in the original. She's finding her place. Well, yeah, maybe. It does stand out, but does it stand... Well, does it really, though? It's coloration. If you colored it red, you'd have a hard time Red Gundam to win. Yeah. Especially in movement scenes. I think the further we go into the show, the more distinctive it will become. Well, maybe. Right now, we're actually finding ourselves the distinction of the pilot also. So, I don't know. Aerial, always going to be cool for me. I love gun bits as a concept, and Aerial is like the ultimate gun bit Gundam. But I'm also partial to Ghoul Jet Turk and Jet Turk House, and Jet Turk Heavy Industries, the corporation that keeps that branch of the school going. And, well, that's the thing about Wish for Mercury that I love the most, is that all of the branches are represented by different Gundam or different companies that make their own mobile suits. Technically, they can't make Gundams; that's illegal. But they make their own mobile suits, and every company makes a different looking mobile suit. Like, you cannot confuse different companies' mobile suits from other. Jet Turk House are like these big old. You remember monsters from Macross? Yeah, imagine like mobile suit monsters.
NWO,
Yeah, they would be like that versus like oh god, I can't remember which company makes the Fract, but the Fract is like lanky, tall. It's meant to be like a long distance fighter sort of thing. Like, they all have their specialties from different companies that specialize in these things. It's like, I love that. No two mobile suits look the same. Unless they come from the same company, of course. And that kind of gets lacking in shows. Like, I think that was a derision made about Seed, is that at certain points they all look the fucking same. Yeah. So you want to be able to
designs from 79 for no reason.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying you want to be able to tell which ones are which in a fight, and in G-Quirks we have the clan battles. And I was saying this during G-Quirks, that clan battles are essentially the duels from Witch from Mercury. So you have a limited number of mobile suits in the fight, and if they all look different, then that really aids to be able to tell what's happening. I guess the difference is that the duels, you can make up whatever duel you want. So they had like a 6-on-6 in Witch from Mercury, whereas clan battle's always going to be 2-on-2. Most of the time, the duels are 1-on-1, though. So...
Oh, there you have it.
All right. Well, as we said, we come with board and a note. And a note. Just one. We only have one note about the last 2 episodes. Anyway, let's go to the board first. And normally what I say is that with the board comes a board changelog, but being that the first episodes essentially give us all of our characters, I don't tend to make a board changelog for the first board that we show. And of course, down in the description below, there will be a link to the board so you can see it on your own without having to look here in this little thing that we're doing on the screen. But otherwise, yes, this is the initial board, and future boards will have a board changelog to tell you verbally what the changes are.
Pagan. The driver's name is Pagan.
Also a planet in the Ultima universe.
Foreigner minister. Not foreigner. Foreign minister. Ugh.
Yes, Vice Foreign Minister.
Lieutenant Sec Marquis. Huh? Everybody's here. Well, let me see. Wait. What happened to the officers that were with Sex? Did they getting any names? No.
Otto's right there.
No, I'm talking about the guy who goes into one of the subs and
the guy who died.
It's not Otto. Yeah.
The guy who died who didn't have a name.
Sure.
Do you want me to? I'm sorry. Did you actually want me to do the 8th MS team with this and every character I see, put him on the board?
No,
even
I thought he got named. That's why I was like, did he get named? No, he didn't get named.
Not according to my rewatch or the listing of people with names that I have. No comment about any of the connections or feeling that I've mixed a connection anywhere.
I don't know. You said duo white line. Well, it's uncertain, so that makes sense.
To Relina, I'm assuming is what you're pointing out?
Yeah.
Yeah, he tried to protect her, and then she jumped in the way of his gun, and he has no idea what the hell's going on.
Yeah. Also, the ship's captain also didn't get named, the one that torpedoed their... Well, actually, with depth charges, not torpedoes, but...
actually, in the show, they say torpedoes.
I know, but they were not torpedoes.
Doesn't matter. They said torpedoes. In this world, depth charges are called torpedoes.
I guess. Interesting that no connection between Catherine and Roa, though.
Yeah. What would the connection be?
She seems intrigued.
Does she?
Uncertain? Yeah.
Literally, he is standing next to the ringmaster doing his thing, line. And she is way up on not a ladder, a stairwell, looking down at them.
Yeah.
That's not interaction.
True.
Otherwise, should I put a line between you and your stalker? Literally, you should.
That I had a stalker.
That's what I'm saying. If you don't know that they exist, is there a connection? That guy who's been staring at you through that little window in your bathroom. You're like, that's on the 3rd story, and I'm like, yeah, he's been hanging from a rope.
Yeah, you know something I don't know.
My hint would be looking for the guy in your building who has an arm cast from that one time he fell off the rope.
Yeah, probably not. No, probably broken head, but still.
No, that's after you find him.
Yeah, that's true enough.
No other notes about the board? All right, well, we come with our own notes. As per our typical rules, whoever comes with the most notes goes first, and you came with more.
Episode 1, The Shooting Star She Saw. I forgot how melodramatic hammy this show was. I think ham was the word that we were looking for, we didn't use. I'm not slamming it for it. It's upfront about it. The English dub is a bit more subdued than the Japanese version, but no one told Sex English VA about that.
I don't know if hammy is the word I would go with either. Over dramatic, I think, is the one I just landed on.
And melodramatic, yeah.
Yeah, maybe that too. I'm assuming there's a difference between over dramatic and melodramatic.
So I'm not going to look for if there is, I'm not going to look for it. So just leave it there.
Well, unfortunately, your first note kind of went into two different territories. Mm-hmm. And my first note enters into one of those territories. I just want to say I'm openly making the acknowledgement that despite the fact we decided to watch this in sub, the English dub is the superior work, and it is a joy to rewatch it and take the notes, if not just to hear that version again. Also, the English narrator is the same narrator for the game Homeworld.
Didn't know that.
I knew it sounded very familiar, and I was like,
it did.
Looked him up real quick. It's the same person.
Now that you mention it, yeah. Okay, to my second note. The interior of these columns, I said this during the video, but I watch it again. It's like, yeah, no, it kind of feels, at least for me anyway. The interior of these colonies look very oppressive, with high gray walls on both sides, almost as if you were trapped in a shoebox. When they show the long shots, right? When you see long shots in UC, for example, you see the windows and a lot of and clouds and a lot of light or darkness. Here, it's like city and then these
my problem
walls and stuff.
is that I'm not remembering episode 1 and 2. I'm remembering a future episode of Duo's Home Colony that doesn't look the way you're describing. So I can't add to this because I'm remembering future stuff.
I mean, other colonies could look different, but the ones that
they all look different as per your other not note here, but your other observation about how weird the fucking colonies look from the outside.
Yeah,
they all are apparently different. All right. I guess technically my second note also addresses the other half of your first note. Following in the theme of throwing subtlety out the window, we just start the after colony timeline with the United Earth Sphere Alliance openly putting civilians up against the wall at gunpoint and blowing up transports. We need the audience to understand that these guys are bad as fast as possible, because Hero is going to be just a lot. And especially we need you to understand that he's the good guy and not just some asshole.
I have a note about that. I believe it's the following note. No, my final note is, I guess the Earth Alliance repurposed the International Space Station into a military facility. Just, look familiar. It was like, that's what they did. It's a sort of a reconnaissance.
Doesn't make much sense.
Yeah. I mean, it could be an earlier colony. They're still using it for just that purpose.
No, I mean, it very much looks like the ISS. It's just,
I know,
that would require a lot of upkeep, and it seems like you've got better shit out there.
Yeah.
Especially since all of these colonies are in Lagrange points. You can keep track of Earth from Lagrange points. And you've taken them over to such a degree that you express it every opening of every episode. Just, make a base on one of those. I never thought about the 4 red lines that circle the Earth in the opening, following the Operation Meteor launch that we directly follow. I always saw it as some unique targeting reticle, but obviously it's the 4 other Gundams launching to Earth at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, 20 years ago.
Yeah. We have 4, and then the 5th, which is, I think, Hero, which is one going right.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's the Operation Meteor launch that we directly follow is the one going towards the center.
Yeah. So you can see one thing. It's one thing, Hero. Committing casual war crimes is another. Just a thought. You talk about he's like, I'm going to shoot down the civilian shuttle.
No. Yeah, I know. I mentioned during the episode that was basically that these are terrorists being launched at Earth.
Yeah.
I mean, they are.
Which is ironic because the foreign minister is supposed to be on. Well, no.
I've got comments about Relina's dad. Don't worry.
Yeah. He's not from the colonies. He's actually from Earth that is trying to talk to the members.
Yeah, if you remember the board has him in an outline from United Earth Sphere Alliance.
Yeah.
Unlike his family, which I put in civilian outline because I couldn't think of what to do about. I didn't want to make a different color for each different type of civilian, like colony civilian or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I just in the board case, civilians are just civilians.
Yeah.
Just like OG Gundam, the show starts with our Char character knowing about the Gundam operation and is in just the right place to do something about it.
Yeah.
In episode 1 of OG Gundam is him launching into Side 7 on an investigation operation for Operation V. Here, Zex already knows about Operation M and is in just the right spot in Earth orbit to do something about Hero.
Yeah. I mean, we are told that the Earth Alliance military found out of Operation M, so that is not that weird, right?
I didn't say it was weird. I'm just saying it's the same thing.
Yeah,
in the first episode of OG Gundam, I was about to say Zaft because we just recorded a seed thing. Zeon already knows about Operation V, and of course, since we watched in some chronological order stuff, Origin, they already introduced the concept of Operation V too. I'm just saying it's 1 for 1. Also, I guess matching my previous thing about we need to establish things immediately so that we can really slow down later.
Sex keeps misreading Hero's intention. Oh, he wouldn't do this. He wouldn't do that. And he goes ahead and tries to do it anyway.
My next note is in line with that, but since Zex is my guy, I didn't like Zex is wrong, this and that. I just did it a different way.
Well,
let me
go ahead.
Well, never mind. You said before so go ahead.
to be fair to Sex, he's making what are seemingly logical assumptions. Like he's not ass pulling. It's like, yeah, come on, that guy wouldn't do that, right? Just so the hero is such an intense character that of course he's not following the rules, right? He doesn't follow the rules. He's his own guy. Blah blah blah.
Well, Zex's estimation that Hero wouldn't shoot down the civilian shuttle only because they are watching is a pretty damning view of the colonists' resolve to fight. Not aided by Hero's own identification of the shuttle as civilian, and was just about to shoot it down anyways. It's not even his "those who lay eyes on a Gundam" shtick, as untransformed, Wing Zero just looks like a jet. He could have just zoomed past them without any fuss, but he was about to start the show on Yazic Jewel status from Gundam Seed.
Yeah.
So my read wasn't that Zex is reading him wrong. It's that the view of what the colonists' resolve to fight is just that desperate.
Which is interesting because one of the first things we see in the opening when we're told that the colonists are being oppressed is a shuttle taking off from one of the colonies and a row of mobile suits from the Air Alliance just gunning it down, right?
No, that's one of the things I literally brought up at the beginning about how there's fast tracking to make you understand how bad things are. That and the people lined up against the wall with people with guns aimed at their back.
To my next note then. Why didn't Hero just kick the Leo out of the way? Must have been some vice grip kung fu action or something.
Well, yeah, I assume that's what it is. That's why I indicated that I appreciate that they showed us the leg lock that the Leo is doing when Zex bails.
Yeah,
I'm assuming that's what it is. Like,
but then
I would have to also assume that the Wing Zero could have broken out, but there was no time between it. That maybe Hero must be on the inside, getting ready to bail.
Yeah,
that's an. One of those things I usually complain about, like in Gundam Seed, how Kira fucking survive this explosion thing. That's the only thing that makes sense to me here. That the hero is spending those few seconds between hitting the water at deadly velocity, doing something that causes him to survive. The pan back of the interior of the shuttle that Relina is riding in showed people sitting around her and her father. So her dad seeing Wing Zero descending and just saying the code name of the operation loudly enough that his daughter, sitting next to him, can hear it and regard it, is likely loud enough that anyone sitting an equal distance from him could hear. Essentially, worst kept secret for this guy who could possibly be in on it. Later, he's carrying a manila envelope full of picture evidence of Operation M that he doesn't even keep sealed. It just pours out all over the floor, and once again, letting everybody nearby in on the secret plans of the colonies. What I'm saying is that her dad is a fucking idiot.
Yeah. I'm going to jump into my second, because this note is on the second episode. It's just about that. Is convenient that Relina's father just happened to have a dossier on Operations Meteor with him at the party. More convenient that he fell in front of her. The boombox at the otherwise fancy birthday party was a nice touch. It screams, "We're rich, but not that rich."
Well, it says we're rich, but 90s rich. No. 80s rich.
90s. The show came out in the 90s.
Doesn't matter. You're 80s rich if you're displaying a boombox. You're 90s middle class if you're displaying a boombox.
That's true.
So, yeah, you're going to be 80s rich, which, I don't know. The show might have been written in the 80s, come out in the 90s. It doesn't mean anything that he dumped it in front of Relina, because Relina doesn't have any special relationship to any of this yet. Unless the idea is like, God, I gotta get my daughter in on this somehow for no reason.
Yeah, but
I'm just gonna, that's Operation M, in the shuttle. Like, I'm gonna subtly just start dropping evidence to her that something's going on. No reason. I'm gonna tell my wife it's the daughter. My daughter's gonna be, and just like, oops, all my evidence.
Yeah.
He's either doing it on purpose or he's a bumbling idiot.
And also, why is he carrying that in a public space with his daughter. Everyone else like, you put that in a
He's
safety box.
desperately trying to attend his daughter's birthday and then couldn't stay a moment longer.
Yeah.
All the Gundam shows we've watched, and people want to break into technical manuals to tell us why X works this way or X wouldn't happen. Inside 7 minutes of Gundam Wing, and I already know Wing Zero has radar absorbent materials, a main engine, stabilizer, variable geometry, landing gear, and even a front nose. Sorry, that readout of what was on Gundam. Landing gear. Front nose. Valuable technical information, no doubt combed over by the Gundam Wing community.
Yeah.
Didn't say landing gear. What is landing gear?
Well, it's interesting because it's a whole Japanese RL sound.
I know. It's just funny to see it in the English translation.
As landing gear,
yeah. But again, it's also full of invaluable information like engine and front nose. Wouldn't know otherwise. Thank God.
My next note, going back to episode 1. At least in the After Colony timeline, they invented parachutes for MS pilots. Not mobile suits themselves. They have had parachutes before. I'm saying for the pilot themselves.
I mean, technically, he doesn't do anything like groundbreaking. He opens the front cockpit and jumps out. Something literally anybody could have done in any Gundam series we watched so far.
Yeah.
They just never do it. To be fair, though, most of the time they're about to go nuclear or some shit where jumping out would have just put you in front of the blast instead of at the epicenter of it. Relina's dad doesn't talk to the press. Opens his big mouth up about the secret plans of the colonists. Doesn't talk to the press. Worse than that, the press's questions weren't insignificant. Wanting to allay the fears of the public about a possible colonist attack on the Alliance. Instead, they stop and watch him have a protracted conversation with an Alliance officer about making plans for his daughter's birthday. I gotta think that sends a pretty strong message about the distance between the common man and their leadership. Even if this guy is meant to be sympathetic, that's fairly high and mighty behavior.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about anything else the colonists have to attack us? No. No, not even no. Just ignore. And, they stand there stoic in the background as he's like, I've got to attend my daughter's birthday, said to a high-ranking military official in front of the...
Everyone else,
Do you not want to prevent a panic? No? Just going to talk about your daughter's birthday? Aren't you responsible for these talks? Just going to leak some secret information to your daughter? Cool.
Relina, other girls will be over dramatic about their birthdays, but not me. I'm not like those other girls' statement. Like, she's just walking around like, Daddy, you mean a birthday? Oh, but I don't care about that. I was like, okay. Like, you're talking to yourself, walking over the beach, and then pulling the whole I'm not like other girls kind of situation. I'm like, okay, that
Relina says a lot of stuff that's contrary to other things Relina has said moments ago. Yeah. I have a future note about Relina's a real weirdo.
Oh, yeah. I think the ending of the episode shows that she's pretty weird.
I don't know that shows it's weird. It just shows that she has weird hobbies. I'm saying that Relina herself is a real weirdo.
Yeah. Yeah.
Treize and Zex either go back 15 years or the Oz organization goes back 15 years. Hard to tell which is being indicated. Treize says something to Zex, essentially like, oh, if only we had done this 15 years ago. And I think he mentions Oz specifically, but it's like, is that when Oz formed or when you both joined?
They don't look like, I mean, people, it's Gundam, so yeah, you can join at 14 and 15 and be in the military. That's not rare. So I guess, yeah, they're looking their late 20s, early 30s, both of them, so yeah. Younger,
as I said,
perhaps?
Confused.
Yeah.
It's, I'm not deleting my notes for the show, so it's a note for something to look out for. Because again, watched this 20 years ago. Subtlety, well, not something the show focuses on, but also not something I was looking out for. I wasn't looking for the smaller details.
Circling back to my first note, it seems that some VAs got a memo saying, play it straight, while others went, more ham, please. It reminds me of the
and those
colonel
people became the stars of the show.
The one that's questioning, not Seeks, the other guy on the table. Like, you lost our 3 mobile suits. And like, yeah, so what?
Septum,
yeah. How dare you? It's like, do you care about the men or do you care about the suits? That's not what I mean. Blah, 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 blah.
I mean, arguably, the suits probably cost billions a piece.
True.
Whereas the men probably cost thousands a day. Not a day, probably a year, a month. Depending on the military contracts required for, maintenance, bases, whatever. So, even from a spreadsheet, the mobile suits, duh. We probably have millions of pilots. We only had those 3.
Yeah.
For however smart Trey's will turn out to be, I completely fail to recognize his observation of Alliance complacency. He just got chewed out for possibly wasting resources, meaning that they are still keeping track of everything and not just squandering their troops and mobile suits. Additionally, he is thinking this while sitting in a planning meeting on how to best prevent the colonies from allying together. That's active operation material. I mean, I'd hate to see what the Alliance looks like when they are on top of things, if this is them resting on their laurels.
I mean, again, this is one of the situations where I think in a better script, they would have said, okay, they're resting on the laurels because they're underestimating the colonies or something like that. A little bit more information like, that's what you meant.
That also doesn't even work. They're not underestimating the colonies. They're actively trying to prevent the colonies from communicating with each other, which is what's happening in the scene, which means they still see the colonies as a threat that needs to be dealt with, and not even from active military presence. We already see that's happening. They're also trying to subvert their communications at the same time. They are multiple levels deep into subverting the colony's ability to fight back, which is not complacent.
That's true. But if Operation Meteor they thought Operation Meteor was more important, they would have just deployed more forces unless they don't have a space fleet to intercept all these ships.
We haven't seen any evidence of one yet.
Yeah. So
I'm just saying that they are multiple levels into this. If this is complacency, what the fuck were they up to when they were at their best?
My next note. Relina's pink limo really sells the fact that she's a rich girl. She has her own personalized pink limo to run around.
Actually, it actually expresses how poor they are. They, in fact, bought that from a police impound. It was an old pimp's car. So they actually got that as used material.
So they're 80s rich. They're in the 90s, their version of the 90s, but they're 80s rich buying 70s used cars.
Yeah, essentially. Everyone's looking at why the hell do they have such a fucking huge boombox?
Yeah.
Man, I can't play my CDs anywhere.
Also, it's like, they could have hired a band or something, but I guess not.
Yeah. It's that thing where you are a old landed noble and you've got this big old mansion, but you've sold all the stuff in it because you need to maintain the look that you're rich, in the hopes that one day maybe I'll marry my daughter off to another rich family and they'll get their money. Are we under attack? The room has gone red with the fires that are filling it. An explosion just tore through the ceiling. I mean, this guy couldn't sound more bored. I think Duo does him a favor by killing him a few seconds later. Clearly, he was done with this life.
He's like, are we under? And the pseudo movement sounds like, are we under attack? Boo.
He was less concerned about the obvious problem happening around him than the two guys at Jaburo.
Yeah.
OG Gundam
the two guys at Jaburo,
that.
Jaburo were like, oh, at least we're far away from the fighting. They deluded. They went delulu on the situation. We're like, yeah, we deluded ourselves into thinking that we're far away.
This guy,
he wasn't. This guy wasn't even in the picture. He was like,
this guy didn't even get a final scream. That's how unconcerned he was. Those guys screamed when the thing came down and crushed them. This guy, are we even under attack? Again, this is the everything's fine, that dog in the middle of the fire drinking. Is this even an attack? What's the alternative? You're standing in the middle of a fire that's just broken out. Do you not care? Ah, God, I wish wish I could encounter a sniper already.
Yeah. Somebody take me out of this place. I guess we're to believe that Relina is falling for Hero because he is giving her the silent treatment, unlike everyone else who is fawning over her. That's just a guess of why she's so
I guess
suddenly infatuated with it. Yeah.
Literally everyone is like a cult around her.
Yeah. She's a because
yeah, I mean, she's the Ferris Bueller of her school. Yeah. Essentially, she's a little depressed and everyone's gathering around. What the hell's wrong with Relina? Well, my next one's literally the Relina's a weirdo thing. So, Relina is a real weirdo. Forms an instant connection to a guy she found unconscious on the beach that tried to kill himself the moment he saw her, who was willing to take a bullet for, regardless of the fact that he not only threatened to kill her, but then attempted to do that exact thing. Like everything we all fully understand Duo's confusion. You just saw her try to. You just saw him try to kill him. Yeah, it's like she's the weird one here. Duo does not understand her, and I think we all understand a Duo. By the way, I know this isn't part of my note, but it's a thought that I had. Rank the Gundam pilots from whatever you consider best to worst. Because I have a ranking in my head, and I want to see if it even compares to yours. I don't think it's going to, because you put Wu Fei as your best.
No, I think Duo is right now the top one. Because he and, what's his name, and Circus Guy, they actually complete their missions pretty straightforward. The guy who's a rich kid in the desert, he basically had his friends do the fighting for him.
I'm sorry, who's your number two?
Trey. The one with big hair.
Troa. You said Trey, and it sounds like Trey's. It's like he's not a Gundam pilot. No. Well, not yet.
Troa.
So Duo, Troa, Quatra?
No, not Quatra. Wu Fei, because he also does his mission straightforward, no problem.
Okay, so Duo, Troa, Wu Fei.
That's right.
Quatra, Rababa winner.
Yeah, and then finally Hero.
Okay.
Hero gets shut down. He's spending 2 episodes trying to destroy his own thing. He even assaults some medics that try to help him. Oh, hey, you want to come first aid kit? Save it for yourself, asshole.
Okay. Well, I did say whatever you consider the best. Apparently, the metric you've decided to use is effectiveness.
Yes.
Okay.
So far.
I guess my metric is understandability, and I'm almost maybe likability as a person.
A Duo too.
Duo is still my number one. I think everybody agrees Duo is number one. But Quattro is my number two because he's a nice guy. He's the please surrender, but I'm fully capable of killing you and will do so if you force his hand. Yeah. Oh God, what is it? Kiro is probably my third. I know I said likability, but I don't like Wu Fei and I don't like Troa. So Hero at least.
Well, Martin, yeah.
Yeah, Hero at least has some aspects that I understand. He's very confusing, but he's one-dimensional in that I've got to accomplish this mission. So we go from very human characters with very human characteristics to one-dimensional guy who at least understand he's mission-oriented. Troa has to be my number 4. He is one-dimensional, and I don't understand what the fuck he's about. Let me dress up like a clown and I'll hide in the circus. Let me put my arm in the lion's den, because I'm very confident, even though animals are completely unpredictable, and this could very much explode in my face. Unlike the heart bomb that Hero did not have effectively explode in his heart.
Yeah.
And then Wu Fei, because, look, Wu Fei is I would also say one-dimensional, but one-dimensional in not having character. He is also, do you remember anything about the movie?
No, but I think I know some people turn against each other and all that. But yeah.
There is something I talked about, and I don't know if it's going to come up in the comment section or not. What is going on the overlay in regards to symbology? And I had a discussion with the artist about, maybe this isn't the right way to go with this. And then was like, oh wait, symbology in Gundam Wing is barely present. So, despite the fact you've put this here. It's not untrue and is kind of fit, so we just kind of went with it. So if anyone wants to comment about it so that Lessons can see, because Lessons hasn't seen an updated version of the overlay, I don't think.
No.
To know what's going on. So by the time this hits YouTube, he'll see it for the first time. But I also want people to comment on it before it gets there, so that Lessons can just maybe guess what's going on with the symbology around his character right now. Anyway, yeah, the difference that you put Wu Fei higher, but I think no, what was Troa? Your number 3? No, yeah. Wu Fei was your number 3. You did at least put Troa below Quattro, didn't you?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, actually, I put Quattro in 4th, and then Hero in 5.
Crazy. I think there's also an element
I was talking about effectiveness.
I think there's also an element
he's pretty effective.
Of Gundam pilots I would like to spend time with. Oh. And I think Hero would just fucking try to kill me. Wu Fei would try to abandon me. Duo would be a fun hangout. Quattro's a fucking rich kid who likes to spend time with people.
Yeah.
You know, so obviously the people near the top are more fun. And again, I did say that I would rather spend time with the guy who wanted to kill me than the guy who tried to abandon me. At least he's focused on me at some point. I guess that makes me Relina.
That was your note, right? Well, that was responding to my note.
Yeah, no, that was my note about Relina being a weirdo, followed by my questionnaire about Gundam pilot ranking.
Yeah. My next note, very short. Insert "I'll kill you" meme.
I'll kill you.
So the day before Relina's birthday, she's walking home from the spaceport talking about how upset other girls would be about their father not spending time with them like her father doesn't, especially on her birthday. I did put this in, though, forgetting for the moment that her dad offered to spend time with her, and she said, no, that's all right, and then walked home saying all the stuff. But the very next day, at said birthday party, she tells him she's old enough to understand how important his business is. It's that kind of heel-turn character changes that I will be anticipating from this show in the future. Literally one day separating her from, other girls would be more upset about this, but I'm actually really upset by the tone of voice that I'm using to express this. And then one day later, no, it's fine. I completely understand. I'm of that age that I understand these things now. One day of separation.
I mean, yeah, but I think it's the thing. It's the thing is, like, we get a sense of her internal conflict when she's walking alone.
Even though it's not internal, because it's completely external.
I mean, yeah, she's talking out loud, but and the face that she presents, like, no, it's fine. Don't worry about it. I'm a dutiful daughter. You got to do what you got to do. I understand, right? That kind of thing.
I think you're forgetting something very important here, Lessons. Mm-hmm. This show has zero subtlety. I'm taking whatever she says to be 100% what she thinks. So when she's expressing herself out loud about how it's unfair that dad won't spend time with her, especially this close to her birthday, 100% means it. Then when she says, I'm grown up now, I completely understand how important your job is, she 100% believes it. So,
I mean, she could have two contradictory emotions at the same time.
No. That's something that humans have.
Okay. Fair enough. Now, really, StarCraft. StarCraft? I don't know what my last name is. Doesn't matter.
It starts with a D, so I can tell you're way off on StarCraft.
Yeah. And my last note for episode 1, I love the intro song, but the outro is also pretty strong as well.
I mean, you're just finishing up episode 1. I'm still in episode 2. Then again, I only have 3 notes left, so.
What?
I mean, I already commented a long time ago. Just love. I love. Just love. I love love. Love.
Uh-huh.
I don't even remember what the second ending of the show is. Or if there even is one. You don't need to replace just love. So Pagan drives Relina to a cliffside overlooking the military port. then just lets her run off to said port, which is so far away that the show goes from day to night in the very next scene with Hiro at the sub. So
I guess he knows his job. His job is just to drive. He doesn't get paid to babysit this bitch. It's like, fuck you, bitch. You want to go out there? Go on.
Have we seen him outside of a car?
Maybe he's wheelchair bound. He can't get out of the car.
Well, I mean, if he's wheelchair bound, he's going to have a real hard time controlling the brakes.
I could have all the hand controls.
Wheelchair bound just goes right over the cliff. Didn't think about this.
Anyway, now to episode 2. Okay, we're supposed to see Hiro as, well, the hero of the story, but right now he's acting like a jerk. I guess we're supposed to see him as someone who's dealing with the realities of the occupation and war for the colonies, while the rich punks in the academy have no clue what is going on.
The problem therein is that you don't see any internal monologue from Hiro.
Yeah.
So we can't think that...
when he stabs the other kid, it's like, hey, man, you turned down, Melina's thing. You shouldn't do that. And he's like, fuck.
I appreciate it. There's a comment that Hiro makes that I never really heard before, which is, oh, you should have told me sooner. I would have given it to you instead of ripping it up. It's not just I stabbed him in the face and walked away like a badass. Yeah. I had a one-liner to go with it.
Yeah.
I don't know. The oddity of also, like, if he actually would have done that, I'll kill you. Now, hold on a sec. I've got to hand this off to that blonde-haired kid over there. He really wants to go to your birthday. Right. By the way, he's also going to show up without an invitation later anyway. Keep that in mind. No one, how do you even get in the house? Are they just letting every kid in?
I guess so.
Homeless kids off the street showing up to the birthday party. Please, sir, can I have some cake?
Here, have a cake.
That's right. Real Dickensian kids living around the Relina house.
Yeah.
Damn it. He knows Gundanium's impact tolerance, which means he's the pilot of that mobile suit. Really, Duo? You think? The last thing he did was shout that it's his mobile suit. And just to be wrong on 2 accounts, he clearly doesn't know Gundanium's impact tolerance, considering that this isn't the last time we're going to see those 2 Gundams. I'm saying, literally, he's on top of the 3 torpedoes.
Yeah.
That's my mobile suit, he shouts. And then, he must be the pilot of that mobile suit based on the previous information I've just recently discussed. He just shouted. You were here. You heard it. It's very loud. And again, he clearly doesn't know Gundanium's impact tolerance. He didn't destroy your mobile suits, which was his goal.
Yeah.
Duo, fucking idiot. The best of them, and still an idiot.
I love how they deploy the underwater MS. Just shove them off the side of the carrier. And then literally, when they go to the bridge, well, we don't have the ability to deploy these things. So they were using a tractor, just shoving them off the side. I'm like, okay, I guess whatever works.
Mobile suit deployment seems to have gotten worse over time. Oh, wait, did it? Yeah, no, because RX-78-2 in the white base does get flung, right? Doesn't it?
Has a catapult.
Yeah, and then Gundam Seed has a catapult. But other shows, they just kind of like walk off the edge and then fly forwards. Like,
in space is fine, yeah. But this is like literally, you're sitting on a sub that doesn't even have wheels, right? You get pushed up. The pilot was going like, because that's a big drop, I mean,
it makes sense though. What are you gonna do? I mean, technically, they could propel themselves. Like, you're saying they don't have wheels. They got arms. We see the arms extend out and become actual arms.
I know, but they just off the side.
Well, I'm just saying that they could then pull themselves off the edge if they wanted.
Yeah. That shows you how much the Alliance actually cares about the pilots. Like, oh, you're going to have terrifying nightmares about this? Don't worry about it. Might as well launch him off the catapult. Might as well.
All right, well, my last note. Zek says, they say you won't live once you see a Gundam. To remind, the Gundams have been in operation on Earth for 2 days. That's about 5 individual operations plus Duo's extracurricular. Hardly the time span for a mythos to be spun around the cross-military rumors.
part of my last note is literally my last subheading of that last note.
I would also add, since you're about to add to this, that in English he says "legend says" or something like that, and it's like I felt like I can't quote him on English when we're acting to the Japanese, but even then they say the "legend says" bit is even worse for like 2 days.
The word he used in that translation was a jinx. Like there's a jinx, and like
that's
what?
right. It was jinx, not legend. Still, it's the same problem. But yeah, no, it's like, again, if like aliens showed up and I was like talking to my neighbor about the aliens that are attacking Earth right now, and he goes, legend says that they can't absorb water. And like, what fucking legend? We found out aliens were real yesterday.
Yeah.
Did you know about aliens? Are you a conspirator? What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, to my last note to that, literally, there's a jinx. Who said it first, Sex? I mean, you survived, so you're a living example of that's a lie.
I think we joked about this during the episode, like the whole Black Pearl thing.
Yeah.
They say you don't see the Black Pearl and live. Who says that? Somebody must have gotten away to have spread that rumor. So clearly it's not true.
That's also the meme about there's he says the rum's gone and something. Well, I think that's about the Black Pearl as well.
No, the Black Pearl one comes from the beginning of the movie when they're like, we got to get out of here. You don't see the Black Pearl and live. And then Jack is in the jail cell. Like, who says that?
Hero is such a superhero that he's liable to break that horse's legs while showing off. Because he's not simply cantering. He's not going very fast. He's literally having the horse go like this, jump like this. When that horse is if he lands wrong, that horse will have to be put down.
Well, that's where Lena makes their money. Glue factory. My only observation about that scene, which I didn't write down, was the fact that we then later see the horse on the first story of the building. And the windows, he had 3 stories up, and it's like, there's no rope or anything. It's like, are you like hand holding the brick things in between, or did he jump 3 stories up?
My next point is about that as well. At least Hero, the super hacker, remembered to clear his debt with the Academy, although you would think he would have done a background. They would have done a background check, including financials, before they let him into school.
Well, technically, he just shows up, so I assume he adds his information to the thing, and that information required to be added includes the need for a background check. So he probably like, crap, I need to go to the school to figure out who the girl is that saw me. Finds that out, but all he added to the record system was the initial records. Although, how did he add that without having everything else anyway? I don't know. I'm not like literally just making up excuses for like, why did he join the school to begin with? I think ultimately all pointless, because I don't remember him being at the school for very long. I think he's not there anymore anyway. Literally, he cleared up all of his records just to stop going to school.
And gave his real name, or apparently his real name.
Well, it's not his real name.
No.
So it doesn't matter.
They have response to.
They're going to do a background check and find out that this guy's dead. Also a hero of the colonies. You know, it'd be like if I went to school and said, "Oh yeah, I'm Buzz Aldrin." Like, what? Yeah, Buzz Aldrin. Born 1950. I don't know if Buzz Aldrin was born.
Probably 1940s, not the 30s. Yeah.
I was going to say 60s originally. It's like, I better backtrack. He's probably older than that. So 1950s.
Next one. At least Sex is smart enough not to endanger himself by pressing on with his sub. His subordinates, on the other hand, well, screw them, I guess.
He warns them after the fact.
After the fact. It's like, stop the sub. We shouldn't risk it. What about the other people? Let them handle it. They're fine.
Literally specialists. They're Oz members. I think the belief is that my guys are so well trained that they know what to do without me giving them orders.
True.
We need to handle ourselves first and foremost. Also, not for nothing, we're on a sub with a bunch of people. They're in mobile suits, which is just them. My responsibility here is to the majority, not to the minority.
Okay. I already said my number 6, so I'm going to go to number 7. Gundam animators sure love their flamingos. And I was wrong. Flamingos are most numerous in Africa. Because I was saying, I think flamingos are not from Africa. I was like, no, yeah, they are. Literally,
Well, I
the lesser
remember.
flamingo.
I remember my problem with it was the source of a flamingo's pinkness is from their specific plankton-based diet, and it feels
Yeah,
odd that an oasis would have
we'll have that
that.
kind.
Yeah.
What's it kind of filter or
Now,
something?
granted, I don't know if that's true. That maybe somehow oasis are filled with plankton in water. Like, I don't know. It just seems odd to me that that would be the case. I think the only images of actual flamingos in the wild have been on like riverbanks.
Yeah.
Not, isolated things of water in the middle of a desert.
Anyway, to my last point, which has a couple of settings, which I mentioned the very last subheading of it, but I'll skip that then. The whole submarine base bit is bizarre to say the least. How was a hero supposed to load those torpedoes on a sub by himself? Was he going to man the sub again by himself? And that shot went into Hero's arm, but he got treated as if it was a fleshman. I guess he's a super soldier in more ways than one. There's a shot from Hero, he just goes right to the arm. He doesn't skip.
That's wrong.
I saw it. I
know. So did I. Ironically, we both have sets of eyes. Otherwise, this whole reaction thing wouldn't work. I'm going to address things in reverse order so that we can address the gunshot thing first. He didn't get shot this. He gets shot this. Because I thought specific. Right you're pointing this way, like it would go through his arm this way. The thought that I had while watching this is that how did the bullet stop here? Because he's getting shot in a direction that it could pass through his chest. Yeah. But it stops there. That's what I'm saying. You're indicating this way. I'm indicating. It's hard to indicate with this is my push to talk. So I'm indicating that it's coming like this way.
He hits it right here. Right square, yeah. And it will go through his body.
Unfortunately, you're indicating below camera, so nobody can see what you're gesturing. Well, I'm indicating he's coming from him sideways on, that it could pass through the arm into his chest.
Right.
You were pointing like this. That's why I was debating with you. You're pointing straight, like he was facing the bullet. Instead,
no, he wasn't.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That was I can't even remember why I'm debating now. But my point was that's what I was thinking while I was watching it, that the same argument I was having during it, that they flashed, and then they show him bleeding on the ground later. Like somehow he had almost deflected the bullet with his arm. I guess maybe it could have embedded in the bone or something.
Still pretty bad. It could shatter bone and all that.
And we had also debated during the episode the point of what he was going to do with the torpedoes. Like, I was arguing he was only reprogramming the torpedoes. He had no intention to steal the sub. Because I think your debate was, how does he plan to get the torpedoes out of there? And it seems like the argument was he didn't. He didn't have a plan to get them out of there because he was just getting them loaded into a crane when he gets there. He doesn't plan to steal the sub.
Well, I guess, but he has to, because according to him, this thing is pretty deep. So he has to go down somehow, fire the torpedoes at the...
No, I think he's planning to fire the torpedoes from where he's at, and he's programming the torpedoes to go where the Gundam is.
Wow, that would be pretty far.
Yeah, well, I mean, what's more ridiculous? Firing the torpedoes where he can to go to where the Gundam is, or controlling an entire military submarine with one person? I think they're both fairly high unbelievability factors. Yeah. I think the idea that he would then fire them from the pier to go to where they need, like you say, it's pretty far. We actually don't have. No, it actually might not be that far, because Duo is on the pier and he gets out of his Gundam and has his Gundam, auto. So and it's not that far from where he's at. So it might just be like I don't know what it's called, like a Pacific Shelf situation. You know how the Atlantic, the Atlantic is pretty consistent to a certain degree, whereas the Pacific is like the So it could be that sort of scenario. They're not that far from the docks conceptually, and it's just a massive drop.
Yeah, but we don't even see land from the carrier, although the camera shots are.
Yeah, there's not a lot of all-encompassing shots. This isn't a detail-oriented show, as per there's no subtlety involved here.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think we're just not supposed to think about it. There's also the fact that he operates on the torpedoes inside of a warehouse and not on the sub. Like, he knocks the people out that are in the sub to conceivably not even go in the sub.
He kills them with a grenade, basically.
No, I think there's a flashbang. Well, I don't know. I
Well,
don't actually know. I don't. It doesn't even matter. They're not. They're literally not people because they're not. No. Nobody got credit for the that they said.
yeah. Yeah, those are my notes.
All right. Now we do actually come with a couple of comments as well. Canaris4 from the Patreon from the episode The Shooting Star That She Saw. Or actually, The Shooting Star She Saw. The way I remembered Gundam Wing's opening's theme's first two lines, Gundam Wing, Ni Hao, We Ya. 24 years ago, we didn't have anything telling us what the lyrics meant or even were. It took me too long to realize who Theta was drawn as. I had him pegged as Red Trays, which, to be fair, Trays would probably be number 2. Yeah, as much as I just gave the rankings of the Gundam pilots, I don't think I'd ever have myself drawn as one of them. Zex is the cool factor. Trays is the brains.
Yeah.
So I think Trays would be my number 2. But yeah, clearly not Red Trays. I don't know. I don't know where you got that word from. Heavy Arms is best Gundam for 2 reasons. 1, loads of guns. 2, it and V8 were the only 2 mobile suits in Gundam Wing Endless Duel. Oh, sorry, that's the video game. To be able to shoot their guns without some sort of Street Fighter-esque combo. That SNES game was my introduction to Gundam and Wing. It's ironic that the music that plays when Death Scythe first shows up is Wu Fei's theme. I had a lot of trouble looking up what the music was called, and it is doubly ironic that the music stops playing when Wu Fei shows up. It's odd seeing Troa call himself Battle 001. I am used to the Oz numbering system where he is ... Wait, am I allowed to refer to him by his Oz numbering?
If he thinks it's a spoiler, then
that's what I posted comment response.
Yeah.
If you think it's a spoiler, then don't say it because it's probably a spoiler.
Yeah.
But I also said it's an odd situation because we kind of know everything, but also that element of don't remind us of anything, otherwise there could be a genuine reaction there. And
that's it.
No, that was a whole comment. You only responded to like the last thing.
Oh, I mean, I don't have anything to say. I mean, it was pretty straightforward. I mean, they said Ni Hao. Did he? Is that Tagalog or Chinese? I don't remember. Because the opening of the song is in English.
I legitimately don't know where Canaris4 is from or what nationality they report to be. So I don't know how they would have heard it. Maybe they listened to it in Chinese dub. They also say 24 years ago we didn't have anything telling us what the lyrics meant or even were.
Yeah. Because in the Japanese and English versions, they use the Japanese version. It's a mixture of English and Japanese, so I'm confused.
I just thought you had something to say about the heavy arms because that's what we were talking about during the episode.
Oh, I do like the heavy arms a lot, yeah. One of my favorites.
Well, it's part of the comment, and you didn't talk about it at all. So
no, I like the. I don't like the color scheme. I would think I like the more darker color scheme that does that. This one is very bright red, orange, but I do like all those guns.
Okay, I brought this up during the notes. Let's do this one now too, since we can do it at the beginning of the show, and then maybe later when we're like doing rankings and whatever at the end, we can revisit this and see if it matches what we said way back here in episode 3. Rank the Gundams. And by Gundams, I don't mean the Endless Waltz versions. I mean these.
And strength? Or
no, whatever you want. Like I said, same thing as before. Last time I said whatever you think is best, and you went with effectiveness for some reason, whereas I went with like personality and whatnot. So
it's kind of hard because as much as I like all of them.
Ranking them doesn't mean that you dislike any of them. I'm just saying choose your favorite child.
I mean, Heroes is a pretty good because he's transformable. I think I'll go with Heavy Arms first. And Heroes transformable also has a big gun, has a big energy weapon. That's 2. Death Scythe No, actually, Quatra's double scythe.
Sandrock.
Not Sandrock. Yeah, well, it's not. It's actually not a double scythe. Those are swords. Actually, they're curved swords.
Literally said that to you during the episode.
Yeah,
you said scythe, and I said no, those aren't scythes. There's a very specific name for what kind of sword they are, and I cannot remember. And you know what? Update. It's been a week. I still don't remember.
They're Egyptian type swords.
I'm aware.
Yes.
Literally, they are also in like every edition of D&D.
Something.
I don't think they're a Kari. I think Karis are jagged.
Yeah.
Because they're usually like a ritual.
I used to know that name because
again, as I said, they're in every version of D&D.
In fact, I think they're supposed to be more. They're called swords, but they really are more like axes. But
either way, we both don't remember. No reason to keep harping. We recognize that we do know.
So
but can't remember.
Sandrock, Death Scythe, and then Wu-Face.
Wait. I think you just changed orders. Start from the top again. Don't tell me why. Just give us the list.
Heavy Arms. I don't remember what Heroes one is.
Wing Zero. It's the name of the show.
Yeah. Wing Zero. Okay.
Just a second ago, you said Sandrock. Okay.
Sandrock, Death Scythe, and then Wu-Fei's Dragon.
So I don't remember the Wu-Fei's. Like, I so don't give a shit about Wu-Fei that I don't remember his Gundam's name either. So Wu-Fei is near the top of your list, but not his Gundam. I think even specifically, you said when you saw it on screen that you loved the fire-breathing thing and his extendo arms.
Yeah.
But still not enough to put it off of the last tier of the Gundam.
Because, all the other ones have, it's a good design, but the other ones are just like more firepower.
Okay, much like any kid in the late 80s that had a name on the internet started with XXX, name XXX, Death Scythe, number 1. Wing Zero, because it's fucking, the best fighting Gundam that there is. The problem here. I'm probably going with Sandrock, because one, its pilot is fucking great. The problem with Sandrock is that it obviously needs the army around it, otherwise it's not that good to begin with, but it doesn't have the stupidity and the weaknesses of all the other ones, I guess. Yeah. Because I'm going to have to go with Wu-Fei as my number 4, his whatever the hell it is. Fire and heat tends to be a weakness to a lot of Gundams across other shows. I don't know if it's expressed in this, so I'm going to have to think maybe it is. Obviously, the extendo arms is a weakness, I find. Like, clearly it's not to normal mobile suits, but if, like, he was fighting another Gundam, someone's going to grab the arm and just, break that thing.
Or take a heat axe or something.
Yeah. I, for some reason, just imagine wrestling moves or, mobile suit martial arts, as OG would say.
I think it's a Fei Long. I think that's what it's called. I'm not really sure. I remember.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to commit to it. And after that, Heavy Arms. Because, again, it's the stupidest of the Gundams. Heavy fire, guns don't work in every other show. It's like, what if how Vulcans on the head of the Gundam were pretty cool? Yeah, everyone knows that sound effect. What if we filled the whole fucking thing with Vulcans? Don't Vulcans never work against anything we've ever fired them at? True, but more of them.
I mean, the Vulcans kind of work early on against the earlier things.
Yeah, against anything that's not a mobile suit or a Gundam.
No, against the early Saku 1s and Saku 2s it worked, but after that it didn't work.
No, it literally didn't. It literally didn't. That was part of the testing video that we saw for them back in the day. Also, literally, wait, are you regarding the test that we saw in Origin, not Armory 1, that's Seed, the Black Site? Because they get Vulcans fired at them and literally it doesn't even do anything to them, the pre-Zakus.
Yeah.
So, as I'm saying, that's how ineffective it is. And we made a Gundam entirely out of the most useless weapon we've ever seen. Also, you know what else, Lessons? He runs out of ammo and becomes ineffective. At least Death Scythe.
And those Vulcans are pretty big, much bigger than the head Vulcans, so they're higher caliber.
And in 2 episodes, we saw that the Death Scythe can penetrate Gundanium. he pokes through Wing Zero and turns off its self-destruct mechanism, which means it already can cut through the hardest material in the entire show. And it's a melee weapon that's never run out of power.
Works even underwater.
Yeah, that's how intensely hot it apparently is. So, again, it's my number one, but that's on coolness factor alone. It doesn't hurt that it's also pretty strong in hand-to-hand. And Wing Zero, of course, has the cannon that can take out colonies. All right, last comment. Marta Kira Ianami from the Patreon, from the shooting star she saw. No spoilers here, I promise. I'm reining myself in, always. Yay, the first Gundam I've begun watching years ago on Crunchyroll. Japan with English subs. Not the first I've finished, that was Seed, without Destiny. From local library, originally in Japanese dub, with my LG subtitles? Oh, Polish. And with English subtitles too, on same dubs. So I watched them too. They were a bit less mangled, but the first that I had begun. Unlike many fans, I've loved Relina, and I still do. Possibly because I never watched Wing as a teen, and they were a bit less... Sorry, I jumped to the same line again somehow. And yeah, I'm serious about that. As a teen, for example, I hated Rinoa from Final Fantasy VIII. And then years later, she's my fave. And then I discovered, after tiny soul searching, that in hating Rinoa in the year 1999, 2000, 2001, not sure exactly, I was hating adolescence. So clearly shown in her. To quote Arcane, I don't know if you ever watched, hating her, I hated myself. I think this might be some of the fans, female ones like me, relationship to Relina. I don't know. What do you think? Would you hate Relina or Hero? Many teen boys online I've seen either hating Hero or loving him more than I can get. Maybe that, too, is just their adolescent projection. Or maybe I'm wrong. I can accept that. Also, because Wing was my first Gundam and Seed second, I've called you-know-who in Seed Zex copy instead of calling him Char clone. And then, beginning to watch original Gundam movies from local library, I've also called Char a Zex copy. Sorry, not sorry, Char. Sorry, I don't know how you make the noise. PFFTTTT.
That's how you make the noise.
Yeah, but I don't want to make like a hard spike on the microphone.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. And it's very interesting that she brings up the situation where at a certain age, you have an impression of one character. In this case, maybe Relina was too a lot of teenage girls were like, oh, she's so close. It feels like a mockery of who you are at that age. But then when you grow up and you look at yourself like, yeah, I was kind of dumb when I was a teenager. So it kind of matches, right? And same thing with Hero as well.
Well,
I think Hero is supposed to be the 90s edgelord teenage character,
he's
right?
the bad boy in the boy band. We brought that up earlier.
Yeah.
I don't particularly remember caring about Relina one way or the other. Like, I already told you, I was all about the Zex and Noin relationship. So I was clearly looking for, like, the romance in the show, but I didn't think about anything when it came to Relina and Hero. Like, Relina didn't make much sense, Hero didn't make much sense. That's obviously why I was, like, paying more attention to Duo. Quattro sticks to me, like, a little bit. That's only because he was, like, the nice guy. Duo was just, like, a friendly dude. So...
yeah.
And amongst other characters, like Troa has no personality. Wu Fei has no personality, to me anyway. And I liked Rinoa from Final Fantasy VIII. I might be a little bit biased there because I renamed her in my gameplay to my girlfriend at the time. So that relationship didn't last the playthrough of the game, by the way. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you become adolescent, right? You become wistful for, I've got to keep her alive because I couldn't keep her. Well, it is whatever it is. But, yeah.
And I want to bring out the comment is like, are you wrong? No, you're not wrong. I mean, you can be wrong.
It's personal opinion.
But
it's difficult to be wrong on personal opinion, despite how much Lessons will argue with me. That's right, Lessons. You argue with me, the power goes off. Man, I'm so glad I installed that switch in your complex. Where I can just clap on, clap off the power. Alright, well, that being everything, I guess there's nothing left to do but hop on in.
But before we get started,
make sure that you hit the like button,
hit that subscribe button,
comment down below to feed that algorithm.
On top of all that, if you want to watch more shows like this,
unfiltered,
uncensored,
and uncut,
as well as some early access stuff,
you can check it out over on the Patreon.
It's just $5 a month, but hey, no pressure.
There's zero pressure in order to do that. It's just a little bit of extra support, and it would be greatly appreciated.
Again, never gonna get tired of the song. I say that. I used to say that at the very beginning of watching Voltace 5 because I really like the opening. And I'm like 30 something episodes in. I'm like, I think 4 from the end, and I've like just kind of given up. Well, one thing I have to talk over it, obviously, the same way that I do here. But they kind of also play it every time the Voltace 5 forms together into the Voltace 5 machine.
Yeah,
and that's lost its charm a long time ago. Well, to the point that they treat it like a magical girl transformation. Yeah,
it's the lead motif of their.
Well, no, I mean it happens in time because one time the thing was transforming, and then the camera pans back to one of the enemy generals who's like on a call with his boss. And in the background, the Voltace 5 is well, no, it's not diegetic, but the Voltace 5 is transforming in real time in the background. So it's like all these times it's been transforming, and the enemy monster or the beast monster of the week, beast fighter, they're called. The beast fighter of the week is just not attacking them. It's been happening in real time. With high hopes, humans leave Earth to begin a new life in the space colonies. Again, we got to really make sure you guys understand how bad shit is.
Yeah.
We can't have the characters talk about it. That would be too much. We don't have enough time for the overtop drama that they're going to be going through. I do want to mention I also have some sort of special thing that is literally called Operation Meteor. It's like a couple of episodes. I mean, clearly we've never seen that before.
Yeah, there it is.
That's what I said. Side on.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, it's possible it went into a bone. Like. Also, pretty damning. That duo's line is, "It's pretty obvious," and then Relina's like, "He's not the bad guy." Praise hunting men for sport. So there's only one base manufacturing Leos? I'm sorry, all Ares pilots suck? Is that what I was hearing?
Yeah.
I don't shoot targets, I shoot birds.
Are they going after the Gundam, or are they going after the Alliance forces?
The Gundam. I mean, arguably 3 good men, because you just shat on the 2 Ares pilots that you just had. That's right. We designed our subs to dock with our airplanes. Static be damned. Oh yeah, that would be kind of a thing, wouldn't it? We were planning to take out the military. Christ-like, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, hey, it's Sally. It's either Sally Poe or Sally Wu. I can't remember.
Oh, great. They're leading him bleed all over the place. That's stupid.
He's the enemy.
Yeah, but you want him, if you interrogate him, you want him alive.
Or, you know, just keep him alive long enough to interrogate him. In which case, you don't need to make him stronger.
No, but you do want this to
survive? No.
Yeah.
Interrogate him until he's dead.
Question. Yeah, but he won't be able to...
Who would have figured that the JAP area was Japan? Would never have figured that one out.
Oh. His mother computer can go.
Twain supported device. You know that's something I'm going to be reading out loud in the next note section, right? So get prepared for this.
Adobe Photoshop. Yeah, that's an Adobe Photoshop document.
Well, if it is, then it's going to be a much shorter reading. Thank God we came to Earth with all sorts of support networks already available to us.
Of course, a built-in printer. Or fax.
I would assume more it's a fax machine. Although technically I would assume a fax machine has a built-in printer. So from Seed to Wing, Gibraltar base, Corsica base. We go from the Strait to Italy. Right, it's technically the island off of Italy.
Yeah. Corsica or Sicily?
It's a Corsica base.
Yeah.
Take that, factory. I hate the production of stuff. Again, these are the scenes Wu Fei gets.
The cute man.
Okay, Relina. And lessons. Well, who's he doing that for?
Him, apparently. Sending him a message.
Yeah, does he have any idea that there's actually a monitor in that room? We see both camera angles that he has. None of them are looking at the monitors. I was literally going to comment on that, but it was just too funny to see him like about to flex out of the Christ pose. Again, it's the element that I always remember her as not that last name.
I know, Peacecraft has.
I was trying not to say it, Lessons. I would have just said it if I was going to say it.
Yeah.
But it does make me interested to find out what the hell her relationship is to her parents, if she has that other last name. Also, yeah, restraining people in hospital beds is normal practice if you think they're a danger to others and themselves. This isn't even about him being a terrorist. We literally just rode an elevator up here. Multiple stories. Wait. We just rode an elevator up here, but we were walking downstairs to go back downstairs.
You shot him. You know. Oh.
Well, I mean, also literally that's the bullet pulling down his arm into his hand. It's very confusing.
Mm-hmm.
That or they're implying that he did that grip thing where your nails cut into your own palm. Cool, Hero's wearing a back parachute. Duo's not. Oh, just Duo's just so fucking badass.
Yeah.
I didn't mean that ironically, I just mean that for real. Duo is like the best.
Mm-hmm.
Next is X. Yes. Only for you, relative stranger, will I pull this parachute cord. And make things ultimately worse for myself.
One went Go-Go Gadget Scythe, and the other one
0 scratches.
Yeah.
Again, if not for the OST, I would be like, oh, this is fucking bullshit. But the sound is so fucking good, I don't give a shit that Hero's a fucking Terminator. I mean, really, if he did want to kill himself, he had a gun. Really? Because I got a red line connection on the board.
Yeah, that is exactly what you're saying, to trust them. Like, you're the only friend I have.
Well, to be
I
fair,
tend to trust my friends.
Hero has said like 3 or 4 words to him the entire time.
Yeah.
See, Corsica.
Ah, the heat shimmer effect.
And it's a shame that they shit on all these Ares pilots, because it's a pretty cool mobile suit.
I always liked it.
I mean, I really like Leo too, but that's, again, the Zex connection.
I like the jazzy music, but you can't hear it.
I mean, yeah, it's a display. I'll give him that. I'm so certain of our ability to control the area, I'm willing to Hindenburg.
Yeah. I like the sort of neo 19th
Roma Biller
century
Foundation,
clothing.
first name drop.
Yeah.
Well, I think they're leaning heavy on the Europe angle. I guess maybe that's maybe where they're at. Hey guys, look at those cool poses we can make. You gotta believe they're not giving a speech right now. They're just making cool poses in front of a crowd that has to stay in there and watch. Yeah, we've been standing here for 3 hours, Trace. You can stop saying hello.
I mean, that's fair enough, yeah. Of course, he's probably going to be showing up, but that he doesn't.
It would be fair enough if it was true.
Yeah.
気にしないでくれ。そう思われても仕方ないところもある。ゼクスト V！ ワーカー特使、久しぶりだな。ゼクスト V もおかわりないようで。
I see you're off duty from the Texas Rangers.
Also, how things have changed. He's wearing the same helmet you saw him before. Oh, the tall geese.
Actually, we've never seen Walker before. Also, why did it tear its own head off? The only way it could stop if it stopped itself.
その当時から博物的資料扱いだったこの機体を思い出しました。コルシカの出身だったな。交渉上がりです。あのデータに匹敵する装甲を持つ唯一の機体です。どうやって作られていたかは自分は知らされていませんが、その強度を保とうとするとサイズが巨大になりすぎる。その必要なしと現在のモビルスーツサイズが規格統一されたと聞きました。トールギス。そういう名の機体だったと思います。
Ah, the best.
この機体を完成させればガンダムと対等に戦えるのか。
Like, I don't remember much about Tall Geese 2 and Tall Geese 3, but I love Tall Geese 1. Better than the other ones. Sorry, I'm trying to avoid naming them in case, like, I don't think you've forgotten, but I'm not risking anything.
教えの通り常に最大の敵を想定しています。4機だ。1機はこちらに向かっていない。
Plan for the worst, expect the best, or whatever.
1機なくなるだけでもありがたいです。ゼクスト V。おやめください、ボナパシレ。敵など来ん。敵は来る。敵が来るだと。
I'll say either enemies are coming, or this area has always looked like this shit. That's how bad Heavy Arms is. The enemy that they had to put in front of it was a hot air balloon. Sorry, a hydrogen blimp. And I want to remind you, they already talked to the Ares pilots to shit. So...
yeah.
I guess this is just how bad Leos are. Heavy guns takes them down. Oh, you will be.
Yeah.
Again, only making Zex's fight in the Leo that much more impressive. I mean, technically, he's doing exactly the same thing you just said.
Yeah.
Because he didn't mention anything about positioning. Whereas the commander said something about positioning, and that's the only difference. He's just trying to rain down bullets on you. So there's quite a few soldiers like this in this show that I appreciate. It's like, okay, we are laying down our lives, but try to use the information in a way that's going to make things better. I guess their blades are made out of Gundanium too.
Yeah. The only way that it would work.
It's either that or the Ares and Leos are made out of wet paper. Oh, look at that. Ran out of ammo. Better drop your chest, too. I mean, legit, the move would be just stay high up in the air. That guy was dumb anyway. He flew into melee with the heavy arms when it had no ammo. Hey, Sandrock can jump about as high as Hero can.
Yeah.
On foot. I think I'm gonna have to mock Walker dead next episode. No? Built like he really was. Another indication about how heavy arms sucks. Also, why is Quattro wearing goggles? You're in a cockpit. Pulls gun, shoots. Sniper shoots, both dead.
Yeah.
Getting out of the cockpit is always the dumbest thing. I understand it's supposed to be like a show.
Yeah.
Like, I'm putting myself at my most vulnerable. You know, Top even does it in 8th MS Team.
Mm-hmm.
Charlie Horse. Bad Charlie Horse.
Oh. I mean, he's setting his own bone.
A wrench? Still. The wrench is the flattest thing you could find. And here I thought you knew the impact strength of Gundanium. You
Guess
might not be the pilot. Again, it's just a lot of incredulous stuff happening.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the show is very hammy. Just got to go with it.
Well, no, just I just want to make fun of heavy arms every time I see it. It's the stupidest fucking thing. That's only probably because I'm now comparing it to other Gundams. Like, I still thought heavy arms was bad in itself, like in its own series, but put that thing in Universal Century, it gets ass kicked. Well, maybe not. It would be the Sun Crusher of its own universe. I mean, of its own thing, because Gundanium, is just fucking indestructible. And in which case, you wouldn't need the guns. The thing would just walk up to anything and just right through.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Even the birds are going like, "What's wrong with you, lady?"
Look, I know the song is good and all, but we still have to talk over it, lessons.
I know. I mean, that's what I'm saying, that she approaches the birds and the birds go like, "What's
I
the
know,
hell's
but I'm
wrong
trying
with
to
you?"
talk about the episode, and you're like, I got nothing to say.
I mean, I still like the heavy
now we have to
arms.
watch this part.
そしてウーフェイは中央アフリカのレイクビクトリア基地に向かう。そこにはオズの宇宙用モビルスーツトーラスと優秀なパイロットを育てるノイン教官がいる。彼女はそこで悪夢のような出来事と遭遇する。 新機動戦機ガンダムウィング第4話悪夢のビクトリア。
So yeah, that's why I don't like Wu Fei. He's
Why?
the one that attacks the Victoria base that Noin is at. And also, he's fucking sexist.
No, that's true.
I now remember that when he encounters Noin at the base, he goes, because you're a woman. Literally, not like vague sexism, like to her face. I think he also has a weird problem with Sally later in the series, too.
Yeah.
So, yeah, because he killed essentially a bunch of recruits in their sleep, and Noin has a problem with that, like a normal person would. So, yeah, maybe that's what set me off on the Wu Fei hate.
I mean, like I was saying, heavy. I like all the guns in the heavy arms. Yes, they run out of ammunition, but I think they're pretty cool. And it's not that slow. I mean, it's slow because I think the character just takes his time. It's a guy who doesn't. He can jump and do anything else like the other Gundams. He just chooses not to.
He can't jump forever. You even have jump jets. The Ares, which are flying mobile suits, can still stay out of his range. That's why I said that guy was stupid. He flew up into the face of a mobile suit that had no ammo. It's the argument of, like, in D&D, why would the dragon ever land?
Yeah.
To get into a fight with you. Otherwise, we're not having a campaign today. What do we do? Well, it's dumb. Literally, it should be the RoboCop end of movie scene, not the end. And when he's at when the police come and surround him, and he's like getting shot and just trying to get away from them. But the Ares should just hover up in high, just out of the range of his jumps, and just open fire on him. Like, literally couldn't hurt him anyway. But you never know. RoboCop didn't get hurt until that part of the movie.
True. I mean, there's only so many bullets he could probably take. And also, the pilot rattling inside the cockpit could hurt. Oh, these guys are supposed to be super heroic, I guess. So,
No, I would argue against that. Yeah, I would say, because Hero is the only one that does that. Duo is like, I'm going to have nightmares. You're making me sick. Like, clearly implying Duo can't do that. Only Hero.
Yeah. There's so many broken bones and stuff like that they mentioned in the study, so.
Well, so introduction of Tall Geese, the best Gundam in the show. I didn't hear what you said.
Headless Tall Geese. Had the head on the hand.
No, I understood what you said. I was just saying, for some reason, I heard you say Endless Waltz for some reason.
No. I don't think we see Tall Geese in Endless Waltz.
Well, no, because, Tall Geese 1 eventually gets destroyed. I don't remember when. Tall Geese 2 comes out. Then Tall Geese 3 comes out. And then I don't know if Tall Geese 3 survives anywhere.
Yeah. Tall Geese was always a cool mech as well.
What's the best one of the show?
Yeah, it's the super prototype.
I would argue it's McQueeve's mobile suit.
How come?
Because it's essentially the same sort of thing. Shield and sword.
Tall Geese is the super bazooka thing.
It has one, but it also focuses on a shield sword. The bazooka is like 1 or 2 shots, and that's done.
It has a big saber, which...
That's what I said, sword.
Yeah.
A saber is a sword. Typically a cavalry weapon, but, if you move fast enough, anything's a cavalry weapon.
Now I know the name of the swords that the Sandrug uses. Kopesh.
With a K.
Yeah, with a K.
Just make sure I'm thinking the right thing. Yeah, it sounds right.
Just kept rattling in my head. Like,
and that's why I've been silent the whole time, just thinking about swords.
But don't you think about swords?
Yeah, all the time. Specifically, I'll constantly browsing sword art online.
Also known as early era DeviantArt.
So I don't know what the fuck is up with my brain. The same way that you said a headless Tall Geese, and I heard Endless Waltz. You said whatever you just said.
Early era DeviantArt.
Oh, early era DeviantArt. I heard Early Edition, that show where that guy gets the newspaper one day early and can solve crimes before they happen.
Yeah, I remember that show.
Yeah.
1990s as well, yeah.
Yeah, not what you said at all. Instantly what was in my head. Early era DeviantArt. Yeah, but how does he get the newspapers early?
Yeah.
See, I told somebody about the show once before, and they were like, they thought the idea was that the newspaper place was printing the papers just a day early, and it was like, the thing has already happened. It's like, well, how's he going to solve the crimes? It's like, no, it's like, I don't know. I don't remember what the premise was. Like, was an angel giving him the paper or something? I think they just showed up at his door. But conceivably, somebody walking down the hall could have stolen his newspaper that day. Had to have been a story arc at one point. That's just a common human experience. Someone stole my newspaper.
Also, I mean, how is this guy not rich, or whoever stole it? It was like, oh, lottery numbers,
or the stock market, everything. I've solved every word jumble, crossword puzzle, everything, and mailed it in that morning every day of the next day to show how good I am.
Yeah.
And then got myself in that paper. Hell, you know what? You could write for the paper. Literally, I know what the next day's paper is going to be. I know exactly how it's written. I will write for the paper. There's already paradox going on here, right? So the paradox no longer matters. Because you'd be asking, well, if you're writing the paper, then how do you know what you're going to write in the future? Because I just read what I wrote. It's the source of my information, but it's also, it's a bootstrap paradox, right? But it's also one of those infinite bootstrap paradoxes. Like, where did it start? I don't know. A future
me in the digital era, I guess.
Well, yeah, sure it would.
Tweets every morning. They're from a day early.
Well, it doesn't. I mean, whatever way you would be getting your information, and it still works.
Yeah,
the concept is still.
Whatever.
I mean, it's no different than, say, the horror version of I'm getting Skype messages for. Oh, I guess that's horror is that Skype is no longer a thing. Why am I getting these Skype messages? But the whole thing of I'm getting Skype messages from my dead friend, which actually is already anime. That's literally how Serial Experiments Lane starts.
Yeah. Oh, again, and this is kind of weird because it kind of reminds me of what I said about Destiny. You got to go into this thinking, okay, this is going to be over the top. But ironically, people here, they are kind of over the top, and there's all things that are explained. On the other hand, they kind of act logically up to a point, right?
No,
the attacks make sense. I mean, Sex and their parts are like, oh yeah, this guy's gonna attack. So
I mean, Sex may make sense, and Trace's motivations may make sense, although that's to be seen yet. Nothing else does. Hey, let's take off in a blimp. That'll show them. No, sir, this is crazy. No, I don't care what you say. It's like
the blimp thing is so stupid. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Nobody makes any logical sense. I'm gonna kill myself, even though I had a gun all day yesterday. I'm gonna just jump out this window. But wait, that girl I said I'd kill, I can't die until I kill her first, which I assume is the motivation for saving himself, but not entirely. First
because he already has been taken prisoner. People have seen who he is. He's being interrogated.
Well, there you go. Then it doesn't make sense.
He's being rescued. Oh, I'm gonna go along with your rescue. Okay, then I'm gonna kill myself. Like, you had him waste all that time and explosives to get you the hell out of this hospital.
Yeah, so he was just going to kill himself. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, to your point though about everything being logical and making sense, even though it's over the top. No, not really. Why is Relina in love with him?
Knows.
Yeah, so his whole I'm going to wait until you rescue me to kill myself doesn't make sense. Relina's infatuation with him, like maybe you say, oh, that's just emotion. Emotion doesn't always make sense. Sure. But at the same time, I'd like it too. I don't know what else to say here. It's weird.
She's just the assigned, male protagonist for her, right?
Well, no, assigned, it's the element of what you were saying before that everyone is so culty for her that the first person denies her a little bit, but it's like, how hard is she going for it though? Like, oh, he'll kill me, huh?
I guess that really turns her on, right?
I guess because I have no other explanation for it. And then the element of, well, a cute boy that you brought here. I'm sorry, lady, are you like 30? I feel like this is bordering on illegal, if not anything else.
I mean, Relina was like, cute boy. Like,
well, I think Relina was trying to play it off as like, I have no connection to this man, even though I brought him in.
Yeah, but still, it was like,
I mean, to be fair, we know where Sally winds up later, and it doesn't turn out much better than what she's putting on here. And then she's like, is she going to wind up then other later place only because she's trying to make Hiro jealous? Like, what is going on? Like, again, every time I think about what you said, at least it's logical. Every other thing I think about this episode alone, is it?
Yeah. The whole blimp thing was like, huh?
How about logic?
I mean,
once again, logic. I'm going to bring back to Heavy Arms for a second. Logic is that we're going to send this Gundam deep into enemy lines with no real support and make it only use reloadable ammunition. Again, that's my whole point about why Death Scythe is still better than Heavy Arms, is that its blade thing doesn't go away. It doesn't need to be reloaded. Heavy Arms runs out of ammo. Again, we're deep behind enemy lines. We have, again, I indicated that for some reason a bunch of them do have support networks somehow. Yeah. But Troa doesn't. He literally had to join a circus.
We know that Wu Fei is actually making deals and, buying equipment and stuff like that.
He apparently got sent with money, like a crate of money. So he bought a truck and a bunch of supplies, which, again, I assume we're going to see all next episode what the supplies he bought for was. But yeah, I mean, at least he got sent with money. It seems like Duo has, like, people. Like, he calls people to make, phone calls like, oh yeah, I'll showed wheat with you, or whatever he says, implying that these are the people where he's hidden his Gundam at, and he's going to go pick up the Gundam in a specific location. And of course, thank God Quattro comes from a kingdom, I guess.
Yeah, he's a prince or something.
Yeah, but why is he from the colonies if all of his people are on Earth?
That's a very good question.
That's what I'm saying. It's like weirdly how he has this whole... He doesn't have a supply network. He brought everyone with him.
He has an army.
Let's bring the colony with me. That'll be the easiest solution. All on one meteor drop, by the way.
I think he met these people on the ground. I don't think they...
he just met them. Yeah. We needed a king. Thank God you're here.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, it doesn't... The logic is not really there.
Yeah.
What's really funding the show, in the emotionality for me anyway, is nostalgia.
Yeah. Having, well, hey, remember that thing, which is not bad. It's okay. It is not eighth MS Team's quality, certainly. It's like, oh, it could be nostalgia, it could be good. Oh, no, this is good.
I would have to argue that this show is actually bad, but I love it anyway. That's the problem, is that people are going to hear me mocking it the same way that I did with Endless Waltz. I really liked it, but cracked fun at it the entire time, to the point where people in the comments are like, this is fucking shit. What are you guys doing? You're talking over everything. You're making fun of it. And it's like, yeah, but I like it. I mean, that may not come across when I'm just like being flippant about it, but this is literally a step down in animation quality. This is a step down in art style. The story is like bullshit. It's like all really bad, but it is kind of the first Gundam we all got. And I mean, by us, I mean Americans. So kind of love it. It's great in its awfulness.
It's so bad it's good.
I mean, like, if I hadn't seen it like 20-something years ago, if I'd seen it for the first time now, I would be so much harder on it.
Yeah, like, what the hell we're watching?
Yeah, it's like, how is this from the same creators as everything else we've watched? Everything else took everything very seriously. Hero?
Well, there's G Gundam. G Gundam comes right before this, I believe.
Here's the thing: is I've forgotten a lot more about G Gundam. Like, I think I've seen all of G Gundam, but I don't think I I don't remember a lot of it though. That's my thing.
It's pretty silly. It's
the
whole
I
concept
am
is silly,
100% down for watching G Gundam after this. If you're down,
yeah.
pick the country you want to be a weird stereotype of.
Hey, Mexico. There's a Mexican.
Oh, I was about to say Tequila Gundam. Yeah. Oh well,
Yeah, why not?
that was literally what I was going to say. I could see myself drawn as Tequila Gundam. Why not?
Yeah.
White guy. White guy fits the
Not
show
being
perfectly. White guy being drawn
Yeah.
as Tequila Gundam. I'm certainly not picking the American guy. Weird stereotype he was. Football player, pink swish through hair. Clearly, it should have been Cowboy Gundam. Would have been the antagonist of Tequila Gundam.
Yeah.
Well, I'll have to think about it. It's either going to be the Russian guy, so I can be all big jack guy with like the arm restraints.
Yeah.
Or oh god, I can't think.
Windmill.
Yeah,
Windmill Gundam.
I mean, to be fair, it's a valid strategy. Let's just hide the entire battle, and then, well, shit, we're not good enough to actually fight in the battle, though.
Let's go. Let's leave.
Yeah, just
Bye.
just me like drawn in a box with a windmill in front of it with a little windmill hat. Tilting at windmills myself. I'm tilting at myself.
Mhm.
Oh, it's so many good options. There's so many fucking good options for a G Gundam art. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
And not for
More
nothing,
characters.
Domo
all
Kashu
Gundams.
is pretty fucking amazing as a main character. Compared to other main characters, he lacks the subtlety like everybody in Gundam Wing. And again, the element that if you knew German at least a little bit, you figured a lot of shit out real early. Schwarzbruder. I wonder what that means. I don't know. I'm down for it though. Already planning what to watch after this. I was thinking to myself, hey, maybe I should bring up watching Gundam 00 again, since you haven't seen it, and it's literally the reboot of Gundam Wing.
Yeah.
Gee, Gundam sounds fun, though.
Yeah. We're on the silly side of Gundam.
Well, look, we're watching a lot of real Gundam, right? Like, we just got done with Seed, which is, like, supposed to be, and maybe a third of it was really in there with, like, the politics and what to think about stuff. And
I mean, the first season, definitely.
Well, more so for the show than the movie, because again, you missed a lot of context. You're missing a lot of context that the comment section is pointing out that Data missed a lot of context. No, I believe I disagree with you, comment section. Comment section that watched Seed and is probably not watching this show. But yeah, also we're going through Universal Century, which is supposed to be the hardcore war is bad storyline stuff. So it's good to have a little bit of frivolity in some of the Gundam. Like, this is supposed to be. I don't feel like this is supposed to be.
They were supposed to be very serious, but yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to take Relena seriously. So any scene with Relena becomes a what is she doing thing.
What is he on? What the hell is she on?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Duo is the most normal guy. So any scene with him is just like, he is your, what do you call it? Point of view character?
Yeah, grounded character.
Yeah, so it's like, what does Duo think about what's going on? Okay, that's basically what I was thinking too. Versus Hero is like, okay, I mean, it just fell 15 stories onto a cliff face, which then I rolled down, which really impacted my fall a bit, even though I'm going to be fixing my leg a little bit later. And I kind of feel like he's still talking to himself. Like you said in the first episode, he goes, okay, new mission. I got it. All he's really doing is, oh, I got it. Yeah. Grant, he could be looking off screen at a monitor, and the monitor's posting shit to him.
I mean, they're supposed to be getting missions from.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that they don't show it to us. It's just a.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. New mission, huh? It's okay.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, he acts like a crazy person, so believing that maybe he's just making stuff up. Like, knowing Hero from later in the show, I would not disbelieve that this is a guy who stole the Gundam, is making up his own missions like a crazy person. Like, you ever seen the movie The Hitcher?
Yeah.
Yeah, like he's just some crazy guy going down the road killing people wherever he wants to do. Hero feels like that guy.
Like, oh, you're gonna get in the Well, fuck us. It's
Oh,
gone.
God damn it.
Yeah.
Somebody stole it. What, God, what was
It's
your
gone.
name again? Hiro Yui. Oh, damn it. I heard that's what he's on Earth is named Hiro Yui. I'm just saying, literally, if you thought, what if Amuro was a psychopath killer instead of Amuro, what would happen? It's like, okay, well, Wing Zero, psychopath killer is the pilot. But some kid, it's like, okay. All right, any final thoughts about this episode?
No. Just silly all the way.
All right. Well, once again, I've been Theta. This has been Lessons. We've been Stoneface Reactions, and we will catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stoneface Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below, and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this video, what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?